Hi guys, Zelix here with another video. So, if you're PC gamer, I guarantee that you've noticed the mechanical keyboard craze. It's a craze that's definitely well earned for mechanical keyboards, but what exactly are mechanical keyboards? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you.
What is this?
Let's jump right into this then. Most keyboards that you see are membrane keyboards. Membrane keyboards have a rubber dome at the bottom that activate when you bottom out the key. This rubber dome results in an extremely mushy and non-tactile feel. Since you have to bottom out the key, this also results in increased time it takes for the user to actuate the key, which is a big no-no for professional gamers. This is where mechanical switches come in. Mechanical switches first saw wide use in the IBM Model M, which didn't contain the kind of switches we see today. They were buckling springs, but technically they're still considered mechanical since they have moving parts. Many people still adore the IBM Model M despite how hard it is to find one these days. The modern mechanical switch design we see today was originally patented by the Cherry Corporation, founded by Walter Cherry in 1953. Cherry has held the patent on mechanical switches under the name Cherry MX since 1984. The patent expired in recent years, which has caused a rapid influx of switch production based on the Cherry MX design from many different companies like Gateron, Otomu, and Kale to name a few. Cherry MX switches are the most widely known and considered to be of the best quality due to their extensive quality control and testing of every switch in Germany. Cherry MX switches are used in most mid-range and high-end mechanical keyboards. Think about $70 or more, while the clones are widely used in budget keyboards. Now with the introduction out of the way, we can move on to the actual switches. So Cherry has pretty much set the standard categorization for their switches and most clones of the MX design. For Cherry switches and their clones, there are two kinds of mechanical switches: linear and nonlinear. Nonlinear switches, also known as tactile, include blues and browns, for example. They have a tactile bump at the actuation point of the key, which is the point at which the input registers to the computer, and are generally liked by typists. Linear switches include red switches and Cherry MX speed switches, and they are commonly liked by gamers. There is no tactile bump at the actuation point, meaning it is a smooth depression until you hit the bottom. Now that we have a little bit of the terminology explained, we can finally move on to the actual switches. Please note some of the force, actuation points, and travel times vary by manufacturer of the switch, i.e. Gaterons will be a little different from Cherry switches. I'm going to go over the most popular switches being blues, reds, and browns. Firstly, blue switches are a non-linear switch, and are probably what you think of when someone mentions mechanical keyboards. They have a tactile bump and pronounced click. They're the most clicky MX switch. Since blues are so loud, they can be disruptive in shared workspaces, so beware of that. If live streaming, recording gameplay, or on Discord with a desk mic, you will have to use push-to-talk. These switches are extremely loud, so you will have to figure out a way to compensate for that if you're using a desk mic and are going to play while recording. Word of warning. Cherry MX Blues have a pretty heavy 60-gram actuation force to get over the tactile bump, and 2mm actuation point. Blues are generally used by typists due to their clicky, audible, and satisfying feedback. I use blues and I love them, but I'm always eager to try out the other switches. Here's a typing test so you can hear. Next up are reds, a non-linear switch. MX reds have a light actuation force of 45 grams and actuation point of 2mm. The actual actuation of reds is pretty quiet. Any loudness comes from the bottoming out of the key. Gamers generally favor the reds for their minimal resistance and the resulting speed of key depression. Like I said earlier, the reds aren't amazing to typists since they are linear and have no tactile bump for feedback. Brown switches are considered to be a middle-of-the-road switch between reds and blues. They are a tactile, non-linear switch, but they are quiet especially compared to blues. Cherry MX Browns have a light 45-gram actuation force, same as reds, and the 2mm actuation point that is shared between these three main switches. These switches are recommended for a blend of typing and gaming. So those are the three main mechanical switches. Don't worry, I will definitely do a follow-up to this video where I talk about the less used switches, plus the non-Cherry switches from Razer and Logitech. To me, this gives you a basic knowledge that will cover the majority of keyboards you see while shopping. So hopefully, you've come out of this video having much more knowledge about mechanical keyboards. In the description below, I have linked some resources for any more research you may want to do. Feel free to visit the folks over at Our Mechanical Keyboards for any advice or questions regarding mechanical keyboard. All that said, thank you all for watching. Feel free to like this to show your support, dislike if you hate this, or subscribe for more content like this. I really appreciate any feedback you guys give me, so I encourage you to comment to tell me what I can do better. What mechanical switches do you guys prefer? Anyways, this is Zelix, and I'll see you in the next one.
Go downstairs then. Ah!